Hey, what's up, LJ? Good morning. Yeah, I know what you meant. No worries. Bola, what's up? Low key trades. You trade Forex? Faha, how you doing? All right, I'm gonna get started here in just a minute. Give it 1 or 2 more minutes before I get started. Yeah, I'm doing well. I'm feeling good. Yeah, so far so good. How are you? How are you feeling today? You feeling cool? All right. Yeah, I just enjoy the time freedom from all of this, That's like I just get to wake up and do what I enjoy. Um that to me that's the most beautiful part about all of this. So, yeah, I'm feeling grateful. All right, cool. So it's 7:11. The it's open. It's time to get started. All right, so let's see here. Let's go ahead and jump right into it. Let's take a look at Tesla. News did drop that. So I'm going to get into some news that had dropped recently about Tesla's robo taxi service being banned in California, and that could have negatively impacted Tesla yesterday because it just fell. It just fell. Even after the news that we had that broke. And oftentimes, when news break publicly for us common folks, it's pretty much factored into the price already. So we did have that spike, the trade in the previous trading session. So let's take a look. Currently, wow. Well, we are jumping. We were down 21%, or excuse me, 0.21% um, when I started this live. So now we were up 0.10. Um, so yeah, yesterday we closed at 319 and change. And let's take a look at yesterday was pretty hectic because we had a ton of scheduled red and orange folder news. If you're new to to these live sessions, scheduled red and orange folder news is news that we check out every single day because this particular type of news can negatively or positively impact the market. So let's go ahead and jump right into it and jump over to forexfactory.com where we check out the red and orange folder scheduled news. There was so much news scheduled yesterday. It was just crazy. So a lot of stocks fell very heavy. Some just consolidated for the most part of the day. But let's take a look at today. Today's Thursday. Let me zoom in for those of you on TikTok so you can see this more clearly. Let's see. Coming until today, we had some orange photo news that dropped at 1 a.m. as well as 1:30. Let's see. We do have some more coming here shortly within the next 15, 16 minutes. So we got the GDP, uh, core PCE price index, employment, and unemployment claims. So we'll see if that has any impact on the market. So we'll double back here, refresh, and then we'll jump back to Tesla and see if it had any impact whatsoever. If we take a look at Tesla's session yesterday, let me pull this over so you all can see this. Um, I mean, this was crazy. Like, look at Tuesday. All right, so we consolidated for the majority of the day, right? Pretty much, we just consolidated. Yesterday, I thought we were going to take off like a rocket. We just heard the deal that was announced with Samsung and uh, LG, LG, right, for the battery deal, and both of these were billion-dollar deals that just broke recently, and so Tesla tried to take off, but sellers weren't having it. Right at the open, I thought we were going to take off and break well beyond the previous day high, but we didn't. We pretty much stayed heavy for the rest of the day. And I will tell you, like for larger positions, I did note that I've been taking trades with the cheaper, lower delta contracts. All right, for many tickers, like Tesla, Nvidia, AMD, so forth. But here's what I like. I do want to point this out before I proceed really quick. Hopefully, you all can see this on the screen. This here, I love this. See, after a fall, like this is, and now I'm not sure how this works for the other tickers, but like I said, if you've been following my live sessions, I've been studying Tesla since 2024. I just started trading it the toward the end of the latter part of April 2025, right? And what I noticed is with Tesla, after these aggressive drops like this, I love these. I didn't catch this yesterday, but yo, if I was paying attention, I would have caught this because this right here is where I enter larger positions. So I'll do anywhere between 10 to 50K on this. Because Tesla does these V-shaped recoveries when we have these aggressive um, drops or pullbacks. All right. So man, if I had caught this, look, oh my goodness, I would have jumped in. Let me zoom in so you all can see this because I want you to see this clearly. Let me pull this up, stretch it out a little bit. So right here, you can see right after this drop, all day the stock fell, right? All day. And then what I would be looking for is indication that buyers are going to step in and begin pushing that price higher. So this would have been the sign, the wick on this down close candle here. Let me stretch it out a little bit more so you all can see this. The wick on this down close candle, these next two up close bullish candles. And then I would have waited for the next segment of pull or down close candles. And this would have been it. So I would have entered on this candle. I would have entered on this candle, on this bullish up close candle right here. And I would have rolled this stock all the way up. So from here, 313, 313. What's up? That's Detroit right there. That's my area code. So 313 till 318. 313 to 318. That's a $5 move. So a 10 to 50K position. Oh my goodness. I would have been eating nice. I would have been eating nicely. But yeah, so let me go ahead and get back over to the pre-market session. So remember, pre-market opens at 3 a.m. Central, 4 a.m. Eastern, ends at 8:30 a.m. Central, 9:30 a.m. Eastern. All right, let me pull this down just a little bit. So yeah, not much activity. since we closed, but we did have this nice V-shaped recovery yesterday. Nice V-shaped recovery into the post market. Not much. We did fall a little bit. Some consolidation. We gapped up in the pre-market, right? So you can see that we gapped up in the pre-market, but we retested the pre-market low. So right now we're retesting the pre-market low, and you can see we retouched the pre-market low, this pricing zone, several times. I don't know if you all can see this clearly. Let me stretch it out a little bit more. So on TikTok, so you all can see this. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 times. All right. So we touched 6 times, and you can see we're still in range from the post market, right? So if we mark out and we box this in, you can see we're still in range. So this is why I said we look left. Anytime we're drawing out key levels, we simply look left. I like to use simple language to explain these concepts. You might hear these referred to as different terms, but when you're starting out, I just want to simplify these concepts so you could just easily lock in and comprehend how to read these charts. So you just look left and see where the highest point the price rose and the lowest point the price fell. And you can box that in by drawing in lines, right? You mark out the highest point, you just simply mark out the lowest point. You box it in. That's how you box it in. And then you see within range. Using the simple breakout and retest strategy, we're simply waiting for a breakout above or below those zones. So you don't have to draw out a whole bunch of key levels. You can start with the pre-market high. You can start with the opening range. It could be the first 5 minutes, the first 15 minutes, and so on. All right, it's really up to you. And then you just journal. Make sure you're journaling your trades. So whatever you decide to use, whether it's the pre-market key levels or the opening range key levels, make sure you journal these and keep track of your success and your failures, right? So you can see the percentage out of 10, out of 20, out of 30, out of 100. What was the percentage? That's key because you want to know if it's working. If you're 60% and greater, you have a good grasp on the strategy because you definitely want to build confidence in the strategy, right? That's the goal. And journaling your trades will help you establish that confidence, all right? Don't just go in guessing. Make sure you're journaling your trades. So coming into today, like I said, we were down 0.21, 22%. We did jump up to as high as 0.10% since I was on this live. In 9 minutes, we do have red folder news dropping. So at 7:30, so we'll come back, refresh, and see what we have here. Let's take a quick look at Tesla specific news, then we'll talk about what I expect today. I'm not really looking for a trade today, by the way. I did trade this week. Let me do a quick recap before jump into the Tesla specific news, and then I'll pause to see if you all have any questions really quick before or I proceed. So take a look at this. Let's jump over to the calendar view. If we take a look at the calendar this week, so yesterday I made took 2 trades, 1 loss, 1 win. So let me zoom in over here. All right, so here's my results for this month so far. All right, so we close in today. This is the final day. All right, so I don't plan on trading today. I'm just going to catch up on some tasks that are overdue. All right, so this week, $869. Last week, 222. Week before, 1,500, almost 16. Week before that, 2,200. And then the first part of July, $12 and change. All right. So you don't chase after the money. I don't chase after the money. I take my time. Take my time because the money will come. The money will come. And so this month alone, if I switch to this month alone, you can see I made close to $5,000. I made close to $5,000 just this month, just July. All right. If I switch over to stats and you check out this equity curve here, let's go to this year, and I'll pull up this equity curve. So like I said, I've been day trading. for the past 3.5 months consistently, and you can see this was the learning. This was the learning curve. All right, so yeah, definitely want to keep track of your trades so you can see your progress. And then going into June, this is going into June. This is when all of the concepts started to really make sense uh, that I've been learning from my mentor, and then it just took off. We just took off. All right. So yeah, make sure you're journaling your trades so that way you can stay abreast on your progress and your overall performance. That's really key. All right. So let's take a look at Tesla specific news. Let me go ahead and click on Tesla. We did have some news that dropped not too long ago. Tesla was banned. Tesla was banned in California. Tesla's robotaxi service was banned in California. Let me find that really quickly. Give me a second. What was that? Mm, did I pass it? I can't find it. Where was it? Trump says U.S. will set 15% tariff on South Korean imports under new deal. Check that out. Samsung says tariff agreement reduces uncertainty. It expects boost from Tesla deal. Musk says you can now ride hail a Tesla in the South Francisco Bay Area. What? What happened? Tesla starts ride hailing in San Francisco. No reference to self driving. All right. So, yeah, let's take a look at this because I don't know where the news went. I knew I should have popped it open earlier when I saw it. I don't know where it went, but there was a headline where let me do a quick Google search. Tesla robo taxi ban in Cali. What? No, Tesla's what? No, I just saw it. Elon Musk Tesla hits a speed bump in California. Robotaxi 11 hours. You know what? Maybe when they dropped the news, maybe it was an some sort of error. Tesla cannot offer autonomous California rides. Let's see. Let's see what this says here. Tesla cannot offer autonomous rides in California. California Autonomous Vehicle Regulator made clear Friday that Tesla's planned robotaxi expansion in San Francisco Bay area cannot use self-driving technology to offer rides to the public, even with safety drivers behind the wheel. The company is reportedly planning to offer paid robotaxi rides to public starting this weekend with a safety driver present, according to Business Insider. That his company would bring robotaxi to the Bay Area in a month or two. The plan to offer paid rides comes as Musk's company faces a lawsuit from California Department of Motor Vehicles over its driver assist technology that seeks to temporarily halt the company from selling any cars in the state. Wow. So if we go back here, what is this? Musk says you can now, blah, blah, blah. No, we don't want that. Let's check out the other one. Oops. No mention of robo-taxi. Let's see this one. Said on Thursday, company has launched its ride-hailing service in San Francisco, but did not clarify whether it uses self-driving vehicles. The California Public Utilities Commission said last week that Tesla is not allowed to test or transport the public with or without a driver in self-driving vehicle. You can now ride hail a Tesla in the San Francisco Bay Area, in addition to Austin, Musk said in a post on X without adding other details. So Tesla only has a permit from California's Department of Motor Vehicles to test self-driving vehicles with a safety driver on public roads. It does not have the permits needed to collect fares in robotaxi. Okay, so that's what they're looking for. So yeah, they must have retracted that uh, on TradingView. There was, I don't know who dropped it. It could have been Reuters earlier. It could have been some other source, but I did see it here in TradingView. But yeah, it's gone. But yeah, so they might have just retracted it and offered greater clarity. Maybe there was some mistake in the initial drop of that news. So yeah, do you have any questions whatsoever? Let me pause right here and see if you all have any questions. Let's see. Abel, what's up? Not sure if you're still on. Let's see. What is this site? Can you show me? Yeah, this is tradingview.com. Tradingview.com. It's a free tool. It's a free tool. Traders typically use it for charting to perform their technical analysis and to stay abreast on what stocks are doing in the marketplace. So yeah, tradingview.com. Let's see. Anyone else? Any other questions? All right, cool. All right, so I don't see anything else. Let me check out this Trump news here really quick. I already had it open. Let me see. Trump says U.S. will set 15%. Remember, we're still waiting on the news from the deal between the U.S. and China, so we're still waiting on that. I'm pleased to announce that the U.S. Has agreed to full and complete trade deal with the Republic of Korea, Trump wrote on Truth Social. The negotiations were an early test for South Korean President Lee Jae-myung, who took office in June after a snap election. All right, cool. So that's Korea. We're still waiting for China, though. We're still waiting for China. And many of you might have seen already that the Fed did not change the rate. All right. We're still sitting at 4.5%. All right. So they didn't change the rate. So they didn't cave to any pressure, any pressure from the administration. So they're still holding firm. All right. Let's see. Scramble, da da da. Yeah. All right. So cool. Let's go ahead and jump into, then we can wrap this up. The pre-market prep. Let's see. Let's jump into the chart. I'm going to take a look at Tesla and see where we are. We did have that red folder news. So let's do a quick refresh in forexfactory.com. Forexfactory.com is where I'm viewing the scheduled red folder news. Everything looks okay so far. Let's see. Employment in the green, personal income in the green, personal spending slightly below the forecast, which was 0.4. We came in at 0.3%. So let's see if that had any impact whatsoever on Tesla. All right. So when we look at when the news dropped, 7:30. So we hover over, we move over to 7:30. Stretch this out a little bit. Okay, this is what I was talking about in previous sessions. So you can see right at 7:30, look at the strength on this candle. Look at the strength on this candle. So a nice pop right at 7:30. And then you see sellers are trying to step back in to continue pushing the price lower. Wow. Buyers are trying to step back in. All right, so let's talk about what I expect coming until today. Again, I'm not looking to trade today, but I will go over this. If I do happen to see something that's just too good to pass up, then I'll go ahead and trade. But for the most part, I don't plan on trading today. This is the last day of July, and I'm green. I just want to keep it that way. So I'm not looking to rush into a trade today. But let's go ahead and talk about this quickly. All right, here's what I would expect coming into today. We are still within range, pre-market high, pre-market low. So we're going to use these two key levels to for the breakout and retest strategy to talk about what I expect coming into today. All right. So coming into today, we're right in the middle of the range between the pre-market high and low. So what I expect is some more consolidation right at the open. What we'll be looking for is the reaction off of the pre-market high and the pre-market low. I expect that we might drop and retest the pre-market low. If that happens, what I'll be looking for is to see if buyers will hold this key level here. If buyers will hold this key level and begin to push the price higher. If this happens, you could look to possibly enter a position here at this stage. All right. Remember, I talked about what those type of candles will look like to give you that confirmation, speed and momentum. So speed and momentum is what you're looking for. These candles need to develop very, very quickly. Again, I'm on the 1 minute time frame on the Tesla chart. Each candle on this time frame is 60 seconds in duration. All right, if you're only able to buy one contract, where would you look to exit if this is in fact the case? All right. Your first initial exit would be high of day. Whenever we open in the market, all right, and wherever the stock price rises, even if it falls right after, the highest point after the open, it would be considered high of day. I want to make that clear. That would be considered high of day. The other levels you could draw out, remember, you're looking left. You're simply looking left to mark out additional key levels. So you can look left to mark out the activity in the pre-market. We already have the pre-market high marked out here, so there's no need for me to mark out the pre-market high, but we would have the high of day at the open, So we have the initial entry point. If buyers are stepping in aggressively with speed and momentum, if you only have one contract, you can look to exit your position entirely at high of day. So see money, see profit, take profit. That's the mantra. If you have multiple contracts, let's say you have two, then you can look to scale out of your second contract at the pre-market high. All right. If continuation occurs. Now, another thing that could happen is we could continue very heavy like we did yesterday, and we could drop immediately to the pre-market low and even beyond that, right? If this happens with the breakout and retest strategy, what would we be looking for? Well, again, we're looking for a pullback, aka retest back to this zone, this pricing zone, okay? If that happens, again, we don't need to touch perfectly this pricing zone. It could come near, it could touch it, or even break slightly below it. All right. So either scenario is fine. We're just looking for the reaction off of this level here. Okay. We're just looking for the reaction from sellers or buyers. If sellers start to step in aggressively, right, and push this price lower with speed and momentum, you could look to enter a position here. And then where would you look to exit your position? Very simply, same thing, just in reverse. Low of day, low of day. So if you only got one contract, you would look to exit your entire position at low of day. Then if you have multiple contracts, you can simply look left. Let me pull this up just a little bit so we can have some more real estate. You can simply look left and draw out other key levels, okay? Highs and lows, that's all you're drawing, okay? So if this is low of day, we could draw out another key level here. I'm just going to simplify this because this is yesterday's point of resistance, okay? So you can see when we fell lower, there was a pullback to this area. So you can mark this out. You can mark this out here. And you can even go to the higher time frame. Let me do this really quickly. So we have the previous day low all the way down here, but you'd want another level that's a little bit closer after the low of day, right? So we could take a look at this point. All right, so we had a drop here on Friday. This was last week's last week's Friday, right? And so you can draw out this level here. Let me put this. So we have multiple touches here, here, and here. All right. So you're just looking for, you look left, points of resistance and support. That's it. Very, very simple. Points of resistance and support. Wherever we broke from. So we dropped, you can see on Friday here, we broke out, but then dropped to this point. This is a point of support where we continued from toward the upside, right? We had continuation toward the upside. So this is a point of support. This is another point of support because we dropped to this point and then buyers started to step in and push the price higher. And so you have 2 points. You just need 2 or more points to confirm. So we had this, and this. All right. So that's what you would be looking for. Then you can draw out another key level if you're looking to stay in that position a little longer. All right. So you can scale out one contract at low of day and then the second contract at the next target level that you drew out, that you marked on your chart. And then you can also mark out the previous day low. I have mine drawn automatically because I wrote a script to do that. All right. So that's pretty much what I expect coming into today. One other scenario that could happen that I don't foresee, given the news, the recent news that just dropped, but I'll cover that very quickly, really quick, is we could start out very aggressive. Buyers could jump in very, very aggressively. Oops, that was crazy. Very aggressively right at the open. I don't know what's up with this drawing tool. Oops. All right, so right at the open, I don't know why this tool is doing that. Like it's automatically doing some crazy zigzag. I'm not even doing that. But anyway, so we could start out very bullish at the open, All right, we could start very bullish at the open. I do not like that zigzag. Let me do another tool. Let me do a path. So right at the open, we can start very bullish right at the open, right? And what I'd be looking for, if that happens, is a retest back toward the pre-market high. So that's a pullback, and you see sellers start to step in. So we'd like to see a pullback towards the pre-market high, right? Again, it doesn't have to touch. It could come near. It could even break slightly below it. That's fine. We just want to see a nice bullish candle, right? Nice bullish candle indicating that buyers are stepping in aggressively. We want speed and momentum. So we will be checking the reaction off of this key level if that happens. And so you can look to take your position at this point. At this point, oops. Oops, let me stretch this out a little bit. And then draw this. This will be your high of day, okay? High of day. So with that said, if you all have any questions, that completes the pre-market prep for Tesla. Again, you can use this. This strategy is applicable to any stock, all right? If you're looking for a particular stock to trade, you can go to the S&P 500 and check out its holdings. If you need help navigating to find the holdings of S&P 500, just let me know, and I will walk you through how to find the holdings of the S&P 500, and you can pretty much select any stock within that ETF. Abel says, okay. All right, cool. If there's no questions, Tesla rug pull 10 a.m. Yeah. Yeah. Because let's see, what do we have at 10? Do we have any news dropping at 10? Okay, well, we're pretty much in the clear for any red or orange for the news. So there's nothing at 10 a.m., 9 a.m. Central, 10 a.m. Eastern. So I don't see anything. But yeah, given the news, anything could happen with Tesla. So you just have to keep your head on the swivel and play it bar by bar. And bar by bar simply means to just watch the higher time frames, like the 5 minute. Now, let me get rid of these drawings here. So you could take a look at the 5 or 15 minute time frame and see what's happening. You can see if you switch to the higher time frame, you don't want to get caught up in this range here. The breakout and retest works when it breaks above or below this range. So we're still within range. Just keep that in mind. If we break above, then you could begin to pay very close attention to it if you're looking to trade it. If we break below, you begin to, same thing, begin to pay very close attention, wait for a retest back to this zone and check to see if sellers are stepping in aggressively. You should see a nice bearish candle that looks similar to this. Speed and momentum is what you're looking for. Speed and momentum. It could even look like this. It could even look like this. It could be a bullish candle, but with a nice wick at the top, nice size wick at the top. So that's an indication as well that sellers are stepping in aggressively. So you want to see weak price action on the side of sellers, right? So yeah. All right, appreciate you all for the likes and the Island Child Creations. What's up? I see you in here. I see you in here. Thank you for joining. Scott, thank you, thank you, thank you. Uh, right, I know, right? So yeah. So with that said, I'm gonna end the live. Again, I don't expect to. I'm not looking to take any trades today. I just showed you all my journal. Had a nice week, close to $1,000 this week, almost 5,000 this month. My mentor said expect slow motion in August, so he's going to be taking it very, very slowly and being very cautious in the month of August. He said, given his experience, August tends to be very, very slow and choppy. So I'll be doing the same, following his lead. Just take it from there. All right, everyone. I'll see you tomorrow and tomorrow's live. That will be the start of a new month. All right, later, everyone.